Howdy gamers. So if you guys remember in the last video where we unboxed, well actually the 2 videos previous where we unboxed an Epic Gamer PC, well, one of the main things that I wanted to do was upgrade the power supply on that, which is what I got here. This is an EVGA 430 watt unit. It's not the highest end. It's coming up to 3 years old now, because this was in my original gaming PC that was actually been replaced now. But I was originally using this in a server build that now no longer works because I think I was using it for something that it wasn't designed to do. So I'm going to be transplanting this into Epic Gamer PC. I've got the screws all right here, so it should be a nice easy transplant. And the only thing that we're really going to need is a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. So I'm going to grab Epic Gamer PC and we're going to open that thing up and actually not jump scare you because this is an Unwanted Tech Tips video. Yeah, all we got to do is of course just open the latch. That's how easy it is to get into the inside of this. Just gonna put that off to the side. Now the reason I chose this specific computer instead of like some other random cheaper pre-built is because it uses, as of what I can tell, it uses a standard 24-pin connector, which you can see right there, instead of like some random like 6-pin I've seen on the new computer that my parents got. I opened it up and it was using a 6-pin instead of a 24-pin motherboard connector, and even so this is a 7010, a Dell 7010 MT that I bought, and the other one, the 7020 I was looking at, didn't have a standard motherboard connector here, and that was the main reason I didn't, completely go with that. And this one was also a lot cheaper as well. It also offered a little bit more expandability. Because right here it's not really blocked by anything except for the hard drive mount here. The 7010 or the 7020, sorry, it was blocked by the SATA connectors, which are down here. So like those SATA connectors are actually like up there, which blocked this top PCI Express slot, which made me not be able to have a graphics card in that, which is why I actually went with this one instead. This one, I also need to upgrade the power supply because the 970 that I'm getting probably Monday or Tuesday, Sunday that I'm recording this, so a couple of days, it just straight up doesn't have the PCIe connectors, so I can't add any external graphics cards to that. So I need to change that, and it's just rated for a higher amount of wattage as well, so I can be having that. Even if this did have a PCI Express connector, I don't know how strong it would be to run a full-size graphics card. But right now I'm just going to start by disconnecting everything, so that way we can get the actual power supply out of here. Yeah, just basically 4 connections in this entire tower. You got the 24-pin motherboard connector, the 4-pin CPU main power, and 2 SATA harnesses. That's it. This other one that I'm going to be putting in here has a lot more upgradability, so if I do want to add more hard drives and stuff, I could. There's 4 screws on the back here. Yeah, you can see 4 screws right here. I just need to take those out very simply. Dell is obviously using non-ferrous screws, so that's why it can't be picked up with a screwdriver. Now for this last screw, I'm going to have to tip the thing down. I don't want the power supply crashing into the DVD drive or anything. That would just be not very good. He says as he drops the entire unit on the desk. Now, one thing with Dell is that they try to make things as not as upgradable as possible, and it's kind of not a very good business practice, because if you want to be able to upgrade something, you want to use your product for longer, and this power supply dies, and because it's an older unit, well, you're kind of out of luck, really. So it's not, it's got a little power supply latch right there. It should slide out nice and easily. Very bare bones power supply, just the 4 connectors or whatever. But it gets the job done in their eyes, basically. But yeah, let's put in the new power supply, the new EVGA one. Now obviously there's a lot more cable, so cable management will be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you know, we can put some right underneath this drive tray that I'm not really using right now. And are we already running into a problem? We're already running into a problem. Is this narrower? No, it's the same width. It is basically the same dimensions and everything. It's just that it just has a little bit of a harder time getting in. And oh, this one also does have a more cooling as well. This one has a 120 millimeter fan. The other one just has like a dinky, you know, like 92 millimeter fan or something. It's not very good for cooling. So, and because I am going to be running this as a server, cooling is a big priority. Oh, okay. It was just caught on something. But yeah, see, it fits in like nothing. Yeah, it was just the main thing. It was getting caught on some metal back here that I did not see. So now, using the screws that actually came with this power supply, fingers crossed that it's proper layout. But yeah, it looks like it's all pretty much standard layout, which is a surprise, but this is also this is also before Dell started making everything proprietary. Oh, one more thing I need to add as well. Because this is also a VR rig, and this is an older desktop before USB 3 kind of became standard on pre-builts, I had to purchase this USB card on eBay. It's got 4 USB 3.0 ports, and it just goes to regular Molex. But yeah, so it's got the 4 USB 3.0 ports, and then just a regular Molex connector, which the other power supply did not have, but this one does, right here. Yeah, we're going to reuse the power supply screws that came out of the power supply, because these are just one of those standard, you know, pre-built screws that everybody and their NAN has. And another reason I went with this tower is you can see it's got several PCI Express 1.0 or X1 slots. So you can put in a full-length graphics card as well as PCI Express X1 devices like this one here. So this one should work, no problem. But before we get to that, we're gonna do some cable management. I want to get everything plugged in first, and I'm really hoping that everything here is the same pinout, because another thing pre-built manufacturers can do is they can have a power supply that looks like it's standard power supply, like you can just swap in a regular, you know, EVGA or Corsair power supply, but in reality, like, the green wire might be swapped with a black wire or something, and it provides a different voltage, and you can just zap your system instantly. But I did a quick look before I actually started this video, or before I started recording, and I made sure that this had the same wire layout and the wire scheme as the previous one, and it does. So there is zero chance that there should be an incompatibility. Now, of course, those are famous last words, so you're gonna quickly see whether or not that's true. And another thing with CPU connectors as well. This power supply comes with it comes with a 4+4, so you can attach up to an 8-pin CPU header on the motherboard. However, because this is only a 4-pin, you've actually got to be careful. One of them has boxy boxes, like, so this one has the 2 boxes, box here and box over here. These ones are just the other ones that aren't the box. I actually don't know what shape that is. Get closer on that. Yeah, there we go. You can see that right there. Not the same. Now, realistically, it shouldn't be a problem if you swap them. However, I don't really know, so I'm not going to say if you should swap them out or not. My best educated guess is that you need to keep them the same. And no, this is not Linus Tech Tips. I don't have an UnWantedFew water bottle. Once we reach that kind of popularity, we will release some merch. You obviously saw in the computer unboxing itself, I was wearing some, but that was just some fun stuff that me and my friend did. So again, no merch just yet, but maybe stay tuned in the very future. Okay, next we need to install the USB card. So for that, we just need to take out this little rear plate right here to be able to access the slots. Now realistically, I actually don't need this plate, but I'm gonna keep it. So we're gonna knock out this bottom slot here. And then all we gotta do is just take the USB card. Notice, now, if you're handling any kind of card that doesn't have protection over the circuit boards or the PCBs or whatever, try to handle it, try to avoid like touching it. You can grab it by the edges, just be careful like that. But your best bet is grabbing it by either the metal or the plastic. Don't grab it by the capacitors. If you want that kind of shock, go right ahead. But I'm saying that it is not a pleasant shock, so we're just gonna not bother with that. Okay. Well, I said I wasn't going to use this. Turns out I need to use it. I could have totally went for the 9010 on eBay, which features a much better expansion slot mounting, it's just a door that you can put things on, which is a lot better, but you know, at least it's in there. Shouldn't move. Okay, now we just need to put in the Molex connector, which we're going to put under the CPU power. Obviously, I'll do a lot better cable management once my graphics card arrives, but once it does, you can ensure I'll actually do good cable management in this, but that can sit there for now. We're going to be using every single one of these connectors on this power supply. I just realized. Anyway, time to put the moment of truth whether or not that cable fits. Perfect. So now with that, we now have a better power supply. 4 USB ports at the back now, so I can plug my Oculus Rift in there and play VR games. Again, we will get there when we get there. However, thank you for all watching this actual Unwanted Tech Tips video. The next video is going to feature, hopefully when my graphics card arrives, it's going to feature installing that, cable management, and I want to do some Windows partitioning. I don't really find a really need to, because I have 2 hard drives that are dedicated for the server. The problem with that is that this, which as you can see, problem the first is that I've only got one of these hard drive sleds, which I only have one because that's the amount of hard drive that I actually got on this order. And I actually don't have an option to install another one. I will, figure that out once we get there. But as of right now, it's just more of an inconvenience than anything. Maybe we should plug it in to see if it actually powers on, because that would be inconvenient if I did all this work and it just doesn't power on. So I'll be right back to test that. So there you go. It does power on. And that is all I have for this video today. Stay tuned, where I actually figured out what I was going to do. That 500 gig hard drive that I have, I'm actually going to partition it. So half of this 1 terabyte drive will be Windows 7 and Windows 2019. I'm going to have another 1 terabyte drive, which is dedicated for the storage. So I'll have that completely allocated to server storage, and then up here is obviously that. We will cover that once we get there. However, that is going to be all for today's video. See you later.